Picture a stone born in darkness, deep within the earth, where pressure presses carbon until it forgets it was ever soft. By the time it reaches the light, it has become so hard that nothing in nature can scratch it. Its very name means unconquerable. Legend gave such stones a tender name of their own, tears of the gods, fallen from some distant sorrow into the waiting rock. Among these stones, none carried a heavier story than the one called the Koh-i-Noor, the Mountain of Light. Legend says it passed through dynasties for centuries, changing hands again and again, rarely through peace. Each time it changed owners. The old stories say it carried its fortune along with it, and that fortune was a curse. Kings who held it were said to lose their thrones. In time, people came to believe the stone judged the men who wore it, and judged them harshly. Yet legend made one exception. It was said that only God, or a woman, could wear the diamond and remain untouched by its misfortune. So, in the old stories, the stone passed gently into the hands of queens, as though mercy had simply chosen a different bearer. People came to believe diamonds offered more than beauty: protection for the body, clarity for the mind, courage for the wearer's heart. Others believed they could guard against deceit in love, or bring fortune to the household that kept them safe. Perhaps it is the nature of the unconquerable to ask, quietly, who is truly fit to hold it. Picture a stone the color of deep forest shade, cool to the touch, holding light the way still water does. Emeralds form slowly, deep within the earth, where pressure and time coax green from stone.
To hold one, legend says, is to hold a fragment of spring that never fades.
Long ago, so the story goes, the emerald was claimed by the goddess of love herself. She wore it close, and it was said to carry something of her nature: tender, watchful, unwilling to be deceived. Lovers who exchanged emeralds were believed to be bound under her gaze. And the goddess, legend tells us, asked only one thing of the stone: that it tell the truth. So the tale unfolds. A lover gives an emerald to the one they cherish, a quiet promise pressed into green stone. For a time it stays clear, bright, untroubled. But should that promise break, should a heart wander where it ought not, legend says the emerald knows. It clouds, it dims. In the older tellings of the story, it is even said to crack, as though sorrow itself had passed through the stone. Because of this, people came to believe the emerald could do what words alone could not. It was thought to reveal hidden truths, to expose deception before it could take root. Some believed it brought constancy to love. Others believed it steadied the mind and calmed a restless heart. Perhaps that is why the emerald still draws us in, centuries on. We want, somewhere, for the things we treasure to keep their color. And we want to believe that what is true will always stay clear. Hold a ruby to the light, and it seems to hold a small fire inside. Deep within the earth, under heat and pressure, older than memory, a trace of chromium turns plain stone this deep, living red. To touch one, legend says, is almost to touch a coal that never cools. Among gem lore, the ruby was called the king of gems. Its red was said to be unlike any other stones, not sunset, not wine, but a flame trapped inside crystal, burning quietly, forever. According to legend, warriors carried rubies into battle, set into armor or worn close against the skin. They believed its fire would pass into them, steadying a trembling hand and hardening a soft heart. It was said a ruby worn over the pulse could not be touched by fear. Some claimed its glow would darken when danger drew near, a silent warning from within the stone. Other legends went further, claiming a ruby set into a fortress wall would guard the whole stronghold, its light unseen but never extinguished. Beyond the battlefield, people believed the ruby carried gentler gifts as well. It was thought to steady a restless temper, and to draw love and loyalty to whoever wore it. Some said it brought good fortune, and that it would lose its brilliance if its wearer's heart turned false. Perhaps that is why the legend endures. We have always wanted to believe that courage could be held in the palm, a small flame that never quite goes out. Deep within mountain veins, far from any sea, a stone forms the color of midnight. Lapis lazuli, blue so deep it seems to hold the night sky itself, scattered with flecks of gold like distant stars. To hold it is to hold something that looks less like rock and more like heaven, cooled into form. Legend says this stone was once a fragment of the sky, pressed into the earth. The ancients who found it believed they had uncovered a piece of heaven. They ground it, slowly, into a pigment so rare it was reserved only for the sacred. Saints, queens, the faces of the divine, painted in colors meant to outlast empires. It was said no other blue carried such weight, for none other had once been the heavens. This small piece of sky traveled far into the hands of kings. And according to legend, those kings did not let it go, even in death. They were buried with lapis lazuli pressed close to them. Legend says the stone would carry their souls upward, retracing its path home to the sky it came from. People believed it offered more than passage to the next world. It was thought to grant protection to the one who wore it. It was said to calm a restless mind and to draw truth closer to those who kept it near. Perhaps that is the quiet truth inside every legend like this one. We have always looked at the sky and wished to hold a piece of it close. Something steady. Something eternal. Resting simply in an open hand. A deep violet catches the light like wine held to a candle. Amethyst forms quietly, deep within hollow stone, where mineral water cools slowly over time. Hold it, and it feels cool at first, then warm, as if it remembers something. Legend tells of a maiden named Amethystos. She wished only to live simply, untouched by passion or excess. But the god of wine, Dionysus, desired her. She fled, and in her fear, she called upon the goddess Artemis for protection. Artemis answered. She turned the maiden to crystal, clear and cold as glass, before any harm could reach her. Dionysus arrived too late. Seeing what his pursuit had caused, he was struck with grief and remorse. He wept. And as the legend goes, his wine spilled and the tears mingled together, pouring over the crystal foam. Slowly, the clear stone drank in the color, deepening into violet, as if grief itself had stained it. The maiden remained crystal forever after, but she was no longer colorless. She had become something new, marked by the very passion she had tried to escape. It was believed, in the centuries that followed, that wearing the stone could guard against drunkenness. Its name was even said to mean not intoxicated. People carried it as a charm for clarity, for a steady mind, for restraint in a world of temptation. Perhaps that is why the stone still draws the eye. It carries the memory of someone who wanted only to stay herself, and was changed anyway, into something quietly beautiful. Among gemstones, the pearl alone is born not of stone but of life itself. It grows in silence, inside a shell, layer by gentle layer, until it gleams with the hush of moonlight on dark water. Legend says it began as tears, not of sorrow, but of the moon itself, weeping silver drops into open shells along the seafloor. There, slowly and patiently, the sea folded each one into smooth, luminous stone. Among the pearl's many stories, one has endured above the rest. It tells of a queen famed for her extravagance, who wagered that she could spend more on a single meal than any kingdom could conceive. Her rival scoffed, certain no single meal could rival a kingdom's wealth. So, it is said, the queen removed one earring, a single peerless pearl, and dropped it into a cup of wine. Legend tells that the pearl slowly dissolved, its glow dissolving into the liquid. Without pause, she lifted the cup and drank, swallowing in a single sip what no treasury could replace. The wager, the story goes, was settled before another word was spoken. In many lands, people believed the pearl carried gifts beyond beauty. Sailors were said to carry pearls for safe passage across open water. Others believed it brought calm to a troubled heart, harmony between lovers, and protection from misfortune. Some held that it tempered pride, a quiet reminder that not all treasure should be spent carelessly. Perhaps that is the pearl's truest legend, something soft, formed patiently in darkness, that holds the weight of a kingdom in its smallest shine. Picture a stone that seems to hold every color at once, flashes of blue, green, and fire orange drifting beneath a milky surface, like rain caught mid-fall. Opal forms slowly, in the quiet cracks of stone, where water lingers and leaves its trace behind. Hold it to the light and it seems to shift, as though it remembers skies it was never under. For centuries, legend held the opal as a treasure among gems. It was said to combine the virtues of every stone whose color it carried: the fire of one gem, the clarity of another, the gleam of a third, and so it was beloved as a symbol of hope and of luck freely given. Travelers carried it for safe passage. Lovers exchanged it as a promise. By reputation, it was the luckiest stone a hand could hold. Then, the story goes, a single tale changed everything. A novel appeared in which an opal seemed to mark its wearer for sorrow, its fire dimming the moment misfortune drew near. The story spread quickly, as stories do. And almost overnight, belief flipped. The same stone once prized as fortune's favorite became, in certain circles, a thing to be wary of. Brides were warned away from it. Some, it was said, would not wear it at all. Even so, quieter beliefs lingered, that opal sharpened memory, that it deepened love, that it offered gentle protection to those born beneath its season. Belief, it seems, rarely stays still. It bends with the telling. Perhaps that is the gentler wonder here. The stone itself never changed.
Only the story wrapped around it did, and for a time that was enough to make people believe a stone could curse them.